I'm going to quick show you my fish trick that I've been using for farm. And it's been pretty easy. I usually just write these things down as soon as I get my scrap paper in farm. And it's kind of cute too. So the first thing I do is draw alpha receptors as fish. The first one has a long constricted tail. This is going to be A1. We know that's for vasoconstriction. This fish has a big dry eye for my dryasys. Also pilorected eyelashes. And a long nose, because this is going to be the targeted receptor for nasal decongestant. And because this is the prettiest fish in the sea, when you see her, you get ejaculation. Our second one is going to be beta 1. I always write B1 here. I draw 3 bones. 1, 2, 3. For increased heart rate, increased cardiac output, and increased RAA. We also have a heart with an AV node. And then the third fish down here, she's a little pregnant. She's got a big belly underneath her. She has air bubbles because she helps with breathing. This is going to be B2 with a set of lungs here. Beta 2 relaxes the uterus. Also for bronchodilation. Increased insulin, which I remember from these. They're little tiny molecules going up. Increased insulin. Increased glucose. And you might be wondering where A2 is, because it has little clinical significance. But it's something I wanted to remember for the long haul. So I draw him over here as this big guy with teeth. And this is going to be A2. And he is going to reverse all of the actions of beta. See how these guys over here are afraid of him. And he has a big brain because this is the CNS. CNS here. And then to remember which medications are agonist or antagonist, I start up here. I start writing agonist. We have our catecholamines. We have non-catecholamines. So I started and I just made them sound good. This is from page, there's a table in your farm book on page 150 that I just turned into something that was easier to look at. So I started with norepinephrine, AA bone, and bone, when I say that, I mean B1. Dopa is going to be 1,1 dopa. Dobutamine is dobuta bone. Isoproterenol, am I saying that right? Is B12. Epinephrine is 4. Ephedra is a non-catecholamine, and that one's also 4. Phenny A1 and albuta beta 2. So after I write these things over and over again, it's easier to say it that way. It's easier to remember it that way. So remember that the agonist are increase all of these receptors. So if I have A1 here, if I have an A1 agonist, I'm going to come over here and write a plus. So agonist is going to increase everything that this fish does. If I have an antagonist to decrease, it's going to decrease everything that these do. To remember the antagonist, it's also from a page. This is from page 160. So the antagonist, I start at the top. Everything that ends with mine is A1 and A2. All of the A's are mine. Anything that's a sin is A1. Anything that ends with OL is also an antagonist. But I have a list. C, anything that starts with a C, an NA, a P, an S, or a T. All of these are beta 1 and 2. Anything that doesn't start with a C, NA, P, S, or a T, all others are boning. They're all B1. Does that make sense? You'll have to excuse my goofy sense of humor. But that's just how I've remembered it. I'll take a screenshot if it's easier. And I haven't looked at the indirect yet. If you guys come up with anything to remember those easily, you can tell us about it too. These are negative effects. All right, thanks guys.